Your future self is not concerned with how tired you were, how uninspired you felt, or how unmotivated you claimed to be. That version of you only cares about whether or not you executed. It only cares about whether you did what needed to be done despite the resistance you felt in the moment. Feelings are temporary, but results last. The problem is that too many people worship their feelings as if they hold the power to dictate destiny. Feelings are weather. They shift without warning and vanish without permanence. If you tie your discipline to the wind, you will always drift. Your future self demands that you stop chasing comfort and start honoring your commitments. Every time you follow through when you do not feel like it, you prove that you are loyal to the man you are becoming, not the moment you are in. Your emotions will never protect your legacy. They will betray you in the worst possible ways. The emotion of fatigue will tell you to rest when you should be moving. The emotion of doubt will tell you to quit when you are inches from breakthrough. The emotion of excitement will tell you that one day of effort is enough. And the emotion of fear will whisper that trying at all is too dangerous. Every one of those feelings is temporary, but the results of bowing to them last forever. Your future self will not remember how comfortable it felt to quit, but it will carry the consequences of quitting for a lifetime. Every moment you skip because you do not feel like doing it becomes a debt. You may not feel it today, but you will feel it tomorrow. You may not recognize it now, but in 10 years you will. Debt always collects with interest. The version of you that avoids effort in the present hands a bill to the version of you in the future. And that bill cannot be ignored. It is paid in regret, in mediocrity, in lost opportunities that will never return. The discipline to act regardless of feeling is not cruelty, it is mercy for your future self. It is protection from the debt of wasted time. The truth is that no one cares about your feelings except you. The world does not measure your worth by how much you wanted to do the work. It measures it by whether the work was done. Employers, clients, family, and society itself reward outcomes, not intentions. You cannot eat intentions. You cannot live off motivation. You cannot build an empire on moods. Every future you dream of requires bricks, and bricks are laid only when you act. Your future self only cares about whether the wall was built, not whether you felt motivated to lay each brick. The discipline to move without waiting for inspiration is the difference between the man who succeeds and the man who explains why he did not. Excuses are always emotional. They are always tied to how you felt in the moment. But excuses never matter later. No one remembers the reasons you gave yourself for staying in bed, skipping the workout, delaying the work. They only remember that you did not do it. And you will remember too, with regret gnawing at your chest. The only way to silence regret is to act when you do not feel like it. Future victories are earned in moments of present resistance. Every battle you win against laziness, against distraction, against fatigue, stacks into the identity of someone who does not bow to temporary urges. That identity compounds. Soon you become the type of man who no longer negotiates with feelings at all. You act because the plan demands it. You act because your vision demands it. And that is when you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. The crowd worships comfort. The disciplined worship their future. That worship is why one remains invisible while the other becomes unforgettable. It is easy to move when you feel like it. That costs nothing. There is no weight in acting when it is convenient. The true test of character is whether you act when you feel empty, when you feel uninspired, when you feel like nothing matters. That is the furnace where resilience is forged. Each time you act in spite of emotion, you are building armor around your future self. Each time you surrender to emotion, you are stripping that armor away. One path makes you unbreakable. The other leaves you exposed. The mind will always whisper reasons to delay. It will tell you that tomorrow is safer. It will tell you that one break does not matter. It will tell you that today can be sacrificed without consequence. But the mind lies to protect your comfort, not your future. The future self cannot be bribed with comfort. It only counts what was done. It only respects consistency. It only honors sacrifice. And if you betray it enough times, it will betray you in return with a life you no longer recognize or respect. The man who learns to detach from feelings and attach to execution becomes dangerous. He cannot be stopped by fatigue. He cannot be delayed by doubt. He cannot be seduced by comfort. His movements are not dictated by the chaos of his emotions, but by the clarity of his commitments. That man is feared because he cannot be predicted by the weaknesses that govern others. He rises because he knows the truth, that the future cares only for results, not for how he felt on the journey. There comes a point where excuses can no longer be carried. You know the weight of them already. They press against your back every morning you hesitate. Every evening you promise yourself tomorrow. Every night you waste in distraction. Excuses are soft poison, and you have been drinking them long enough. The world will not lower itself to accommodate your comfort. Life will not pause for you to gather courage. Time will not stop bleeding away while you indulge in indecision. At some point you must make a choice. Either step into the man you were meant to be or decay into the shadow of what you could have become. The modern world has made it easy to run. Comfort is everywhere. Validation is everywhere. You can hide in screens, in vices, in false friendships, in empty pleasures. But each escape leaves you smaller. Each indulgence strips a little more of your fire. You have been conditioned to chase comfort as if comfort were success. Comfort is not success. Comfort is the grave where ambition dies. You do not grow in padded rooms. You grow when you strip away the softness and face the raw brutality of responsibility. That is where your manhood begins. Manhood is not about aggression or dominance. It is about ownership. Ownership of your thoughts, your actions, your habits, your results. The boy blames the world. The man takes the blame and builds anyway. The boy waits for someone to save him. The man saves himself. The boy hides when pressure arrives. The man plants his feet. If you want to rise, you must kill the boy inside you that clings to comfort, excuses, and distraction. You must replace him with someone who refuses to kneel. This is not philosophy. This is survival. Discipline is not optional. It is the foundation. Without it, you are prey to every impulse. Your life is ruled by cravings, distractions, and moods. But moods are liars and cravings are chains. Discipline is the key. You wake when you said you would. You train when you said you would. You execute even when fatigue whispers that no one is watching. That is how you reclaim control. That is how you prove to yourself that your word means something. Without discipline, you cannot respect yourself, and without self-respect, the world will never respect you. The path will demand sacrifice. You cannot keep every comfort and expect transformation. You cannot indulge every urge and expect mastery. You cannot cling to mediocrity and demand greatness. Something must be burned for something greater to rise. It may be your laziness, your habits, your addictions, your toxic relationships. If you are not willing to set fire to what holds you back, you are not serious about becoming more. Manhood is sacrifice by definition. The question is not whether you will sacrifice, but whether your sacrifice will build or destroy you. Pain is part of the process. Stop running from it. The boy fears discomfort. The man uses it as fuel. Every rep in the gym, every hour of focus, every moment of temptation resisted is pain converted into progress. Those who avoid pain remain children. forever chasing easy pleasures, forever trapped in cycles of weakness. But when you embrace pain as the toll required for power, you transform. You are no longer afraid of the cost because you understand that pain paid forward is strength collected later. Stop avoiding. Start paying. The man who rises does not wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting, fragile, and weak. Action is permanent. You act regardless of how you feel. You act because the plan demands it. You act because your vision requires it. This shift separates those who dream from those who dominate. If you wait for motivation, you will always wait. The man who acts despite absence of motivation is the man who builds empires. The boy waits for energy. The man creates it. Accountability is the next pillar. Stop surrounding yourself with enablers. Stop surrounding yourself with people who soothe you into mediocrity. You need voices that demand more, not less. You need people who will call you out when you slip, not applaud you for minimal effort. If your circle does not challenge you, your circle is your coffin. Find men and women who hold themselves to higher standards and demand the same from you. If you cannot find them, become your own accountability. A man who holds himself accountable is unstoppable because his standard is untouchable. You must learn to embrace solitude. Growth is lonely because few will understand it. You will outgrow friends, habits, environments. You will be mocked, doubted, even resented. That is the price. Stop expecting applause for discipline. Stop expecting understanding for sacrifice. Most will never see the vision you carry. That is why it belongs to you. The man who cannot be alone will always return to mediocrity for companionship. The man who can be alone will walk into sovereignty. Better lonely and crowned than surrounded and forgotten.